Do you think he might be gay? I've always wondered, dude. Oh, wait. Is that the one that Lily and them are getting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like said like he wants to DM for you one day, and like he's a huge fan. And he was like first person you followed on Twitch. And gifted you some subs.
Windwall. Windwall. I make a windwall.
If I tell you that Wednesday's noon meeting has been moved forward by 2 hours, do you now think the meeting is at 2 p.m. or at 10 a.m.?
Nathan.
Nathan has to fucking call me today, right? It's goddamn Father's Day. Oh no.
As part of this new credentialing process, chokeholds will be banned, except if an officer's life is at risk.
How do you determine that?
And I will say we've dealt with all of the various departments, and everybody said, it's time. We have to do it.
So then in this scenario, in Atlanta, the officers couldn't have used a chokehold because they weren't even under threat of bodily injury, according to the DA.
That's the craziest part about it, is you have to ignore all of the physical attack, and they call it tussling, right? It's tussling.
Those boys got into a hootenanny.
You have to ignore the reality of the situation and the facts that are shown on video to say that there wasn't a threat of physical violence in that moment.
And police officers need better physical training. We'll talk about how to do that with Jocko Willing. And let me be really clear. A chokehold, people get this wrong. Like, oh my gosh, a chokehold is like drowning. And I'm going to display it later on Wade here in a couple of minutes. It's not at all. And you can understand that really quickly just by seeing how quickly a chokehold or a neck restraint, it's a vascular neck restraint. People use the term choke. It's a blood choke. It's not a windpipe choke, what we're talking about here. There are windpipe chokes, but what we're talking about is a vascular neck restraint. Do you know, okay, drowning takes a while because there's no oxygen. You can't breathe in any oxygen, right? Right. But chokeholds, vascular neck restraints, can actually work within seconds. Here's an example of Joe Rogan from, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago applying a chokehold so you can see how quickly someone goes out.
Yeah, you can trust me.
First of all, applying one of these chokeholds to somebody that is non-compliant and getting like a perfect blood choke is probably impossible, or at least incredibly fucking difficult. Like more often than not, this is not gonna be like, you're talking like, I am like perfect like wrap around your neck, you're not like resisting or kicking or grabbing for anything, and that like I have like good access. Like this is like really, really, really fucking hard to do. Like such to the point that like it's almost not even worth talking about. In the real world, like it's probably going to be some combination of vascular or like choking air or just like wearing somebody out and being on top of them so they can't breathe.
It's a stupid
like,
fucking meme.
Ready? Keep going. Oh,
he's out.
He's out. Is he out?
Shut the fuck up, moving, all right? It's a stupid fucking meme.
UFC fighter so dumb, just vascular choke them for head.
2 seconds to put him out. Put cuffs on him.
Yeah, totally fine.
Were you out? His head's red. Hello? You okay? Do it again. Well, he went out pretty quick.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
It doesn't take long.
Yeah. No, it doesn't take long. It's not like drowning. Let me be really clear. A chokehold, it's not one that's not applied to the windpipe, one that's applied properly. It impedes arterial blood flow. Right. Let me explain it to you in a simple way. Okay, the brain recognizes the blood flow is compromised, sends a message going, oh, wait a second, and the heart starts slowing down its pulse. It starts slowing down the blood needed. Effectively, a chokehold is one of the very few kinds of techniques that you can use, whereas a pain hold, a submission, sometimes the damage is already being done. When someone feels it, if they're on PCP, they have no idea. A chokehold, a vascular neck restraint, effectively puts your body into standby mode so that it prevents damage, so that you don't drown. For someone of decent health, and by the way, that's the same reason you can't use tranquilizer guns, because we don't know what drugs are in these people. There's no 100% safe way. But for someone who doesn't have a serious condition, and even with people who have more serious conditions, a vascular neck restraint is undoubtedly more safe than a punch, a strike, a baton, a taser, if they have a pacemaker, a tranquilizer. Your body goes, wait a second, I'm not gonna get blood. I don't want actual drowning to happen where there's brain damage, so let's shut everything down so that there's as little blood flow and as little oxygen in the blood necessary so that I can actually sustain this. That's the wonder of the vascular neck restraint, is you can be put out, never hurt, no damage. I don't think you can think of it. People don't just get hit and your body doesn't go like, oh my gosh, I'm going to take a nap to protect. You already have concussive brain damage. By the way, speaking of damage, hit the notification bell, hit all notifications because subscriptions don't work, notifications don't work on the YouTube. We do Good Morning Mug Club weekdays, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And of course, do join Mug Club because God knows what's going to happen to us after this show.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Bill knows.
I know.
And here's a good example. And I know that they're trained athletes, but I put this on Twitter, and I think we'll have Jocko Willink. We've had Chaelson. We've had Daniel Cormier on. People who compete in striking sports like boxing, kickboxing, far more likely to sustain serious permanent injury or death, right? You've heard about concussive syndrome.
Yeah, just look at Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, and we have, I think, a source here from Academic, and then we have another source from PubMed where grappling sports chokeholds are actually much safer. Let me get to go. Studies show that proper chokehold taught to police rarely ever fatal, rarely even serious injuries. As a matter of fact, according to the police brutality database run by Fatal Encounters, a police reform organization, less than 1%. Less than 1% of people die from any form of asphyxiation while under any type of restraint during police encounters. 3.5 times more people are killed by tasers.
So tasers are a deadly weapon.
Tasers are significantly more dangerous than chokeholds. And I understand. Listen, but these.
Wait. Okay. So just for some. Okay, I'm not saying whether or not his argument is right or wrong. What I'm saying is that he doesn't have the data to make the argument that he's saying. That's what it looks like here. Okay, let's say, hypothetically, where's our taser? Let's say 1,000 people were tased and 100,000 people were neck restrained, right? If 906 out of 1,000 people died to a taser, that is a massive fatality rate. If 100,000 people were restrained by the neck and 263 died, then that's pretty good. Now, let's say we flip that. Let's say for tasers, let's say tasers are used like 1,000,000 times and 906 people die. Let's say that neck restraints are used like 1,000 times and 263 people die. That would make the neck restraint far more deadly than the taser. We have to adjust these for number of uses. My guess is going to be, I'm not 100% positive, my guess is going to be that tasers are probably used far more often than like chokes. Or maybe not actually. I guess it could go either way. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to get information on both of these though. But you would need that information to know like how many times was each like use of force applied or whatever in order to figure out which one is more deadly. We could also wind up into an area too where the only time somebody is choked is after they're tased, in which case the choking is always going to be less than the tased because you're going to tase somebody before choking them.
Shut the fuck up.
Do you know if that data is available?
Right?
I have no idea if it's available or not. I'm just saying that's...
So you're going to make the per capita argument, Pepe.
Under any type of restraint during police encounters. 3.5
Just stab them forehead.
times more people are killed by tasers.
So tasers are a deadly weapon.
Tasers are significantly more dangerous than chokeholds. And I understand, listen, but these are unpleasant scenarios. What you have to do is pick an option that keeps people as safe as possible, both the perp and the police officer. And there is, right now, an actual technique available that can be used to render someone entirely incapacitated without electrocuting their heart or rattling their brain around in their skull. It's a gift, and we give it to you, the people. It is unreal to me. Let me ask you this. How many careers have you seen ended in boxing or mixed martial arts from a strike? In boxing, it used to be, I don't know if they cleaned it up, it was like 4 deaths a year. The only death I think we've seen in a sanctioned MMA bout is weight cutting. But many careers have been ended from strikes, repetitive strikes. People have broken their shins, right? Name me one person who's suffered permanent damage in any professional fighting sport, sanctioned fighting sport from a chokehold. It's never happened. Now, people will say, well, it's because you tap. No, you can find videos longer than you could, more footage you could watch in a lifetime of people going unconscious in the octagon. Now, they say, well, referee steps in. Sure, that's the point of police training.
Exactly.
You don't hold a choke for a minute. If you hold it, they go out. Cuff them, you're done. We're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna come back and show you what a chokehold.
I don't know if it's true or not because I just don't watch a lot of MMA or any MMA actually. I'm just Googling. In shocking scene, MMA fighter Melchizil Costa choked unconscious for 90 seconds. I saw that so close. I don't know if there have ever been like injuries or things related to like people getting choked and killed, but I would imagine it's probably hard to choke somebody to death in like an MMA or UFC fight because you have an actual referee there to stop the people. However, when the police are subduing a perpetrator or an accused, you don't really have a referee there to stop the choking. But
All right, it's gonna be a fun time. No, it's just we're just gonna show what it is. So first, let me show you something that's really. Someone does. We'll talk about this with Jocko in a minute. Remember they were stopping. They grabbed the guy's taser. Okay, so let me show you before we go to a chokehold. Right here is a taser. You can apply a joint lock, but I want to show you what a joint lock is.
Shut the fuck up with it, all right? It's a stupid fucking meme.
So let's say I'm coming in here. I grab that wrist, and I pin Wade. This is what we know as a Kimura. It's a shoulder lock. Wade, what you're gonna do is you're gonna tap when you start feeling some pain. Okay. Okay, so there you go. So, and I'm not in proper position right now because we have a desk behind us, but that's unpleasant, that hurts. Okay, so now, sit back up. I had to take my boots up. No, put your feet out there. So everyone's gonna say this is gay, but anyone who's ever actually applied a choke knows what this is. I took off my shoes.
Fuck, I was gonna say right before I said this.
All right, it's a stupid fucking meme.
Pepe.
Do you think he might be gay? I've always wondered, dude. I don't know, like the way that he acts sometimes makes you wonder. But then he just said that, so I'm saying it just because he said that. Sorry, go ahead.
Because I didn't want to hit him in the balls. So typically what happens is a rear naked choke. You see this a lot in MMA. I'm trying to control his body here. So this is a good establishing of control. So let's say you try and squirm out. The whole reason I'm just controlling your body here. And you have some options, but here, see I'm riding you like a backpack. There's an over-under grip. Now, what I want to do, let me just show really quickly. I don't want to choke you on the windpipe, okay? So if you're uncomfortable, obviously just tap, we'll let it go. But I want you to let me know if you can breathe, okay? Because a lot of people think it's like drowning. What really happens is I'm getting his carotid arteries right here. I'm gonna be shutting down blood flow, okay? And there are a multitude of ways to do it. I can actually do it here with his collar. This is called a bow and arrow choke. So see, look at this. You can even see my forearm is not on his throat, right? You can see that's not, but I can cut off the blood circulation that way. There are a million different ways, but the most common is what's called the rear naked choke. So what I'm gonna do is grab Wade here, okay? Put this under his chin. I don't want to get a zipper on him.
Sure.
So, you know, it's better than a taser to the heart.
That's true.
Or the balls. Yeah.
But you electrify my heart.
Oh, that's sweet.
So.
Wait, don't worry.
That's
The
also a
segment's
technique
called Let's
the
Kill
intensely
Wade.
Uncomfortable. So what I'm going to do here is put him in a chokehold, and if any of you have questions, you can ask. I'm going to grab my own bicep, my own shoulder. The idea here is to close the space around his neck as much as I can. So a lot of people get this wrong if they're not trained properly. What they'll do is they'll grab this and they'll jerk it. Right? I had one trainer who called this, for some reason, I don't know why, the Captain America and the Wolverine. I don't know why.
Hey, it's appropriate.
The difference. So let me show you kind of really quickly, if you can come here, man, to show. Let's say this is Wade's head right here. Here, I'll just for 1 second. Let's say this is Wade's head, okay? The goal is to close the space. This is his throat. My elbow is ideally right where his throat is. So that's the least amount of pressure being applied is right on his trachea, if I'm doing it correctly. But I want to squeeze the sides of his neck. So here's all the space for Wade's head right now. Close it, okay? There's a little less space, right? Close that. Now what I do is put this on my shoulder. A little less space. Imagine his head right here in my chest. Bring this around. There's a little less space. Something else I do. Breathe in. There's a little less space. Then I squeeze everything together. I don't yank. That's how you miss a choke. That's why you see some guys who can be choked for a long time and they don't go out. What I want to do here is get my head on this side and close that space. Look at that space right there. How much space is there for Wade's head? Not a whole lot. But it's the real Brendan, so I'm assuming it'll actually be applied. Just apply the pressure. You okay?
Back in.
Good? Yeah. Want to raise his feet up? Just raise his feet up. This is what we do. So we get some. You good?
Blood flow back. Yeah.
Do you know that you want unconscious?
Makes sense.
Are you good? Could you leave?
It wasn't waterboarding all, no.
Instructor.
Okay. Like, obviously, like chokeholds and strangleholds. I don't know if it's real or not. I hear some people say strangle. They use strangle to refer to blood chokes and chokes to refer to like windpipe chokes. The problem is that like setting these up in a real life scenario where you have like a very clean hold on somebody's neck can be very, very, very fucking hard to do. Ruin it at the last second. We've seen these like a million times. It's just choke somebody and they pass out
You
in a few
better
seconds.
fucking hold this choke for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, otherwise it's irrelevant.
Nice. But like these are like perfect case scenarios. This is like borderline like Aikido levels of demonstrations. Not to mention the fact that half the police force's stomachs are too large to even get in position to do this anyway. Oh, Dick said he's having a barbecue today. He invited me over. That's cute. Why was your mic in such a shit spot for the Killstream? Was it? I thought I asked him to segment me. Well, do you think Ethan was being incredibly unfair to you during the Fuentes segment? He's definitely like closer to Fuentes, but I think even Ethan knew that because I remember him saying like you knew what you signed up for or you knew or whatever. Like he said that when he was there, right?
shout all the evening. Please shut up.
Okay. I hate having neighbors, dude. Some people... Here's your hot take. If noise across the fucking whatever, like roommates and shit bothers you, buy some fucking earplugs or just move. There you go.
Oh, did you see that Arcadium guy? In your Twitch chat a few days ago?
Arcadium?
Yeah, I think that's his name. Arcadium.
Well, what about it?
He's like a huge D&D DM or whatever.
Oh, wait. Is that the one that Lily and them are getting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like said like he wants to DM for you one day, and like he's a huge fan. And he was like first person you followed on Twitch.
Oh,
and gifted you
that's
some
cute.
subs. Yeah.
You want to do an actual genocide one with him?
No, I'm working on that. I think. Yeah, apparently he's like very railroady, which isn't like a bad thing. He just has a story to tell and kind of wants people to stick to it. Which is just different.
Remember that one awesome DM? I call him RR for robot rapist. You saw that he quit the internet.
He's
right?
done. Yes, he's
Holy
he's done.
shit.
It's like Adam Coble or something, chat.
Yeah, someone in chat said his name.
Like, I've literally never heard of a grandmaster ever who had dementia. So it's just some interesting food for thought. Yeah, Fisher went insane, but going insane is different than having dementia, as we know. I mean, wasn't Fisher channeling his inner Hasan or something, like saying ridiculous stuff about 9/11? Like, I literally.
Jesus. Nope. Ah. Dude, this is such a fun mechanic, dude. I love windwall. It's so cool, dude. It's so good. It's such a good ability. I love it, man. It's so interactive. The way that it's like clearly communicates where you can or cannot shoot somebody. Like, God, it's so fun. Windwall. Windwall. Would you be okay if windwall broke? Yeah, I think that'd be cool. If you could actually like damage through it, or if it was like a percentage damage reduction or something. Sure. I think my main issue with windwall is I feel like the art for it is actually really bad. The thing that irritates me the most about windwall is I can't always tell like where I can or cannot shoot. I think if windwall was just like a clear, solid line, I'd be a little bit more okay with the ability. But it's like really, really hard for me to tell. Sometimes like I've killed Yassuos before, and I'm like, damn, I can't believe that auto actually went through. And then there have been other times where it's like he's like right there. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, I don't know. It's the animation for the ability is just really unclear in my opinion. It's the most frustrating part about it for me. I'm mega windwall. Stupid. I'm a real life anime dude.
I get it. I was playing League today, and there's nothing that vexes me more than when I'm carrying and someone is just getting trashed. And they're like, I play jungle, and someone is in lane just getting bucketed, right? Just getting guzzled out of their face. And they're like, oh, and they're like, jungle difference, fucking jungle difference, dude. If I had just had some better ganks, I would have had these loads dumped all over my fucking head. And I was just like, ah, shut up, just shut up. Just let me do what I'm fucking doing. I got every dragon, shut the fuck up. Just sit in your lane under your tower and shut up. I get it.
I have no problem. If somebody else is, I don't give a fuck if my problem is when jungle camps top and I get no ganks all game and top and jungle still lose. That's my problem. If other lanes are carrying, I have no fucking problem about that. I don't give a fuck if top and mid or whatever are doing well and jungle's camping, that's fine. It's when jungle camps another lane and I watch them both die over and over and over again. What is your reaction to the view bombing of The Last of Us 2? Review bombing? Oh, people leaving bad review? I don't know, it's just people being dumb. From what I've seen of it, it looks like they fucked the story up really hard, but people are gonna blame it on like SJW shit, even though it's just probably a shitty story. Are you gonna be judging the main talent show at some point? Hopefully, but we'll see.
I don't know this, but there are only 2 ways in which we humans perceive time. And I'm going to ask you a question so you can find out which one you are. If I tell you that Wednesday's noon meeting has been moved forward by 2 hours, do you now think the meeting is at 2 p.m. or at 10 a.m.? If you think it's at 2 p.m., that means that you have the ego-moving perspective of time. You see yourself as moving forward through time. If you now think the meeting is at 10 a.m., this means you have the time-moving perspective of time. You see yourself as stagnant and as time moving forward towards you. Now, you might think that this is insane that someone even sees the world or time differently than you, but it's true. So ask your friends, ask your family this question, and bond with them or find out that they actually see the world completely differently.
Okay, anybody here that said 10 a.m., you need to leave. Okay, sorry. That car that's 10 miles ahead of you, we need to move it forward 2 miles. Oh, okay, let me go walk 2 miles towards the car or bring it towards me 2 miles? What? You guys are just wrong. I'm sorry. The real answer, though, is that nobody would use this. They'd say we're going to move the meeting earlier or later.
Shut the fuck up, Movement, alright? It's a stupid fucking meme.
Destiny, if you reschedule a meeting with me with that terminology, I am just canceling it.
Yeah, true. Because technically, if you say we're going to move it back 2 hours or move it forward 2 hours, I think you'd think both of those mean the same thing. If you're moving a meeting back 2 hours, then you're moving it 2 hours later. If you move it forward 2 hours, you're moving it later as well. No? Yes? Back means earlier? We're going to move that meeting back. I'm going to move that back to... Actually, that terminology is all confusing as fuck. Never mind. Just say earlier or later, okay? I'm not going to be able to make the 5 o'clock meeting. Like, can we move it back to 6 or 7? Can we move it forward to 6 or 7? Can we schedule it earlier or later? I think earlier or later is just better. Apparently, I'm one of the only streamers that can actually schedule anything. As ironic as all this meeting is. I'm sorry, I'm reminded because I won't say who, but somebody that emailed me, one of the socialist candidates that I'd interviewed, asked me if there was a special way to get in touch with other political streamers because they've tried to make contacts for like interviews and stuff, but they haven't had any success. I thought that was interesting. You slept through a meeting. Cake, we didn't agree on a time. Suck my dick. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. Ban.